building and maintaining good credit. This chapter is important to everyone personally. It is also important in this class because your second assignment is a credit report, so it would be in your best interest to pay particular attention to this chapter. Credit is any arrangement in which goods or services or money is received in exchange for a promise to repay at a later date. So this can be in the form of a loan. Your credit card is a form of credit. Buying it at a store can be a form of credit if you have terms with which you might repay that. To succeed financially, you need to establish and maintain good credit, a good credit reputation. So over your next 5 years, protect your credit reputation as carefully as you would safeguard your personal reputation. Determine your own debt limits rather than rely on a lender before deciding to take on any new debt. This is really important because you can always find somebody who's willing to lend you money, even if you can't afford it. There are many so-called financial institution or lenders out there who make their living giving money to people who can't afford it, and they make their living off of charging and repossessing items off of these people. Third, obtain copies of your credit bureau reports regularly. Challenge any errors or omissions that you find. This is really important. You can access your credit reports through annualcreditreport.com. You're allowed to access each of them once a year. What the book recommends, and it's actually a very good idea, is to obtain one credit report every 4 months. That way you're able to obtain every 4 months throughout the year, you're able to obtain a credit report, and that way you don't have to just access your credit information once a year. 4, use complicated ID numbers and login passwords for online credit account management. This is important because a lot of your personal information is stored on these online accounts. You don't want an identity thief to be able to access your credit card account, because there's a tremendous amount of information on these accounts. Social security numbers, addresses, potentially maybe a driver's license number, and potentially other information that could be used to steal your credit or steal your identity. Fifth and finally, always repay your debts in a timely manner. Skipping or missing or paying late, those are some of the worst decisions you can make. These things stick with you for years on your credit reports, and if they will keep your credit score down and cost you money for years after they occur. Learning objective 1, explain reasons for and against using credit. So good uses of credit include convenience, emergencies, reservations, owning expensive items sooner. We do this with cars, homes, and so forth. Not saying that you should overspend, but it's okay to use credit, because nobody wants to come out of pocket for the cost of a car, much less the cost of a home. Most people aren't able to do so anyway. Taking advantage of free credit, this can be dangerous, but there are many free credit offers out there, and you can take advantage of them. It can become more of a headache than it's worth, but there's certainly plenty of offers out there for free credit. The protection against fraud. is also important. The finally, to obtain an education, the downside of credit. Using credit reduces your financial flexibility. The more money out of your paycheck that goes to pay your debts, the less flexibility you have with regard to your decisions, whether you want to expenditures, maybe take a trip, buy a new car, so forth. If you have too much credit card or debt or installment loan debt, you may not be able to do so at a reasonable rate. Credit can also make it tempting to overspend. We think that, oh yeah, I'll pay off that account, and we get in a situation where it's going to be a struggle to pay off that credit card account. There's also a possibility of becoming overstretched, get to the point where we're unable to make our payments and so forth. Finally, interest is costly. Always be aware of the interest, financial charges, APRs associated with your accounts. Always select the account. If you're going to borrow, always select the account with the lowest APR.